Hi, everyone. I wanted to share my experience that I unfortunately had just gone through because I think that as actors, we should know when we're being scammed. And I almost got scammed, but I hope no one fell for it. But if they did, I hope you reported it. So I was recently almost a victim of what's it called? Like a check fraud. So, which is so heartbreaking. As actors, we always hope that the job offer is real, and this guy or group, I don't know if they're a group of people, but they were really, really good. I mean, I'm going to show you like the check. It was so, um, I mean, it's amazing what they can do now with fraudulent checks and things like that. But so I do a lot of backstage submissions, and I you submit so many things, and I don't always keep track. I mean, the good thing is they do, backstage does. So I got a I got an email saying, we're interested in using you for a mobile app commercial, and I was really excited. And they said as long as you can come uh, you know, for these days and all. I mean, everything was so, you know, the usual, like, we're going to need you for this. This is what the scenario is. You can either be actor A or actor B. You're not going to be saying any lines. It's all going to be voiceover, and I'm just going to be acting it out, and it'll be December 15th and 16th. And I was like, perfect, I can do that. And they asked for my height and weight and all the usual things that one would ask for these for a part. And he said, it's going to be so and so amount. And I got really excited because it was the highest amount I would have ever been paid as an actor. And I got excited, but part of me was like, I, this seems too good to be true, like the money wise. And then the other part was that they were going to pay for my wardrobe. And I said, okay, wardrobe, fine. I thought maybe I pay for my wardrobe, and I thought that was so generous. And then I asked around because I wanted to make sure this was legit. And I know, a lot of people in the business, and they said as long as you're getting paid up front, just all everybody was just gave me good words of advice to for red flags. I even posted on casting on Facebook, and everyone was very sweet and kind to share a lot of tips to look out for, and I checked everything, and so far nothing had. I mean, there were just the amount, but even the people who I'd asked that the amount was really high, they said no, commercials pay a lot, and so that's not so far fetched. And I said, but they could get anybody in LA because they originally said it was going to be filmed in LA. And I said they could get anybody in LA. And why would they fly me out? And friends are so supportive. They said, well, they liked your look and whatever they saw your reel. And so I said, okay, I'm just going to keep going with it until something doesn't sound right. So then, and I even asked the person, I emailed the person, I said, could you talk to me? I have questions. And they sent me a contract, and the contract was pretty, standard. It even had a no nudity clause in it. And I was like, okay, so it's not porn. Okay. So, and the person seemed so, feel free to bring somebody with you if you feel more comfortable. And so, like I said, everything was just seemed fine. And I gave him my mailing address, and he said, "Here's the tracking number, and for the check, and it's coming for the wardrobe." And I said, "Okay, fair enough." So, um, I get the check like a week later because President Bush had passed away, and I'm in Houston, and um, the mail took a couple days longer for that. And so then I get the check, and it has Affleck on it, and it has the seal, and it looks so legit, and it has the watermark. I mean, everything on it looks so legit. Um, but Affleck was never mentioned in the emails or anything. And I said, um, well, how come it's Affleck? It's from Affleck. I thought it was for a software company. And he said, oh, they're one of our sponsors. And I said, okay. So still I'm skeptical. The whole thing I'm skeptical about. And mind you, I still have not spoken to him. And I've called the supposed company, production company. No one ever answers. They only have a website and supposed stuff they had done. And it just seemed very slapped together. And even when I asked, people said, well, if they're small time, they could still do, app commercials and things like that for big. I mean, the companies they were supposedly working with were Nestle and Coke and all these big um, companies. And when I saw their website, it just didn't add up. I'm like, these are big companies. Their website should be a little nicer. And when I looked at the company supposedly I was working for, the commercial, it seemed very similar to the website of the production company. But, once again, I said, let me just wait and see. And so when I called my bank to verify the check, she said the routing number on the check and the address on the check for the bank don't match, and that the account number that's on there doesn't seem to be coming up. And I even called Affleck and tried to get someone to help me, and they said they were trying to be helpful, but they didn't really know who I should speak to. And then I called the bank that issued the supposed the check that Affleck banks with, and they couldn't find an account. And so they explained to me what happens is I cash the check, it bounces, and the funds go back to the supposed account on the check. So it's basically like those check scams that happen a lot on Craigslist, because I almost had one of those as well. So this is why I was really skeptical about everything, because I had almost fallen for that as well. But the other one was just so obvious. It was like, it didn't make sense. But, they're doing it to actors too. And, I mean, all my stuff's out there. I have a Facebook page, I have Instagram page, I have my Backstage page. So it's so easy for someone to get my email and say, oh, we're going to hire you. So just be careful, because unfortunately this is happening. And, don't fall for it, because it was so, if I wouldn't have doubted it if I hadn't had that other check scam through Craigslist when I was selling something on Craigslist. So that's the only reason why I was so skeptical about it. Otherwise, everything seemed very, very normal. Oh, and the other thing that was a big red flag was, he was like, make sure you cash it through an ATM or on your mobile app as soon as possible. Like, he didn't want me to go in a bank. So and then take a picture of the receipt once I do that, to make sure the funds are available. I mean, who does that? So that was at the end of when I was just really doubtful. So, yeah, just watch out. It just really sucks, because, as an aspiring actress, you just hope these things are real. And it's, heartbreaking when they're not, because supposedly thinking you're doing this huge mobile app campaign that's he said was going to be playing in Europe and all over, and we get excited about that. So he pulled on my heartstrings, and oh well, you live and learn, right? At least I didn't do anything stupid like book a ticket, even though he said, oh, we're going to pay for your transportation and your flight. And then he said, oh, it's going to be in New York. I forgot about that. It's going to be in New York. I said, oh, I thought it was LA. So like things kept, go. And then when I asked for reassurance, he wasn't very nice. I said, could you, this is all via text then. Can you please reassure me that, this is all legitimate? And his answer wasn't very comforting. And so, yeah, it was another scam. So please watch out for that, fellow actors and non-actors, because like I said, the Craigslist scam was for selling. I was trying to sell some shoes. And yeah, so just be careful. Okay, take care.